Do you want beasts on your team like Khalil Mack and Saquon Barkley, but you don't have the coins to afford them? Make sure to hit up the coin store, man. Yes, link will be down in the description below. Make sure that you tell them that I sent you and get 10% off your first order. What's going on, my psychedelic squadron? It's your boy Trippy here, coming at you with another Madden 19 video today, and you're probably wondering, why does this look so familiar yet so oddly strange and horrific? That's because this is Madden 18. Yes. Now, some of you would actually call this the better of the two Maddens between 19. I honestly think they're both BS, but you know, that's neither here nor there. What there is to talk about though is something that a lot of people aren't really discussing at the moment, which is, for one, a new promo that could be coming into Madden 19 a little earlier than expected just due to the fall of Easter, and you know, how this actually ties into, you know, Series 6 that could be coming as early as Saturday or Monday, depending on how, you know, this kind of works out. But I also just made a Series 6 tips video that could help you prep, and a few other like variations of how you want to interpret it, just based upon how Madden, or excuse me, how these series updates have been coming out. So if you did miss that, I suggest you go check that out. And don't forget to go ahead and join the psychedelic squadron by clicking the subscribe button. Also make sure that you hit the bell icon to be notified of all future uploads. A lot of useful information in there could really help you out in the future. But what we're actually here to get to is this promotion that nobody's talking about, and it's positional heroes. Yes, with Easter being a little later this year than it was in previous years, because it's usually the first Sunday of the year, or excuse me, the first Sunday of April. It's not this time. It's actually on the 21st, which is right around the NFL draft. So I suspect that they're going to flip these two promotions, unlike they've done in the past few years. So I think the positional heroes, or whatever they decide to call them, they've been called something different like every year in Madden. So I suspect that what sparkling players, whatever they used to call them back in Madden 16, 17, positional heroes, whatever you want to call them, they're going to be coming as early as next Monday, something along those lines. Expect something like a special stream to be happening around the same time, you know, that the Series 5 is going to be ending. So we should get that and positional heroes on top of all that to kind of clean up any of the other like players like Adam Thielen, who had a really good year, DeAndre Hopkins, who has I think a 95 overall card, things along those lines to help, you know, solidify some of these power up players that got cards, but nothing that is like kind of updated to keep up with all the crazy stuff that's coming out now. So as we dig into this just a little bit, they've done it a little bit differently as opposed to in Madden 18 that they did Madden 17, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be just a little bit different. So here they actually had you go through and pick any... Hello? Oh, I'm actually making a video. What's up? Oh shit, I'm glad you did do this. I need to... Alright, so I had a brief moment that I had to take a call, and if you see like a permanent frown on my face for the rest of this video, which I'm 99.9% sure is not going to happen, it's because of Sprint. Fuck Sprint, bastards. But let's go ahead and get into something else so I can like you know, ease my mind real quick. Woosah. Woosah. If you've ever seen Bad Boys 2, you would understand that reference. But all right, so they actually did things a little bit differently each Madden, if I'm not mistaken. So last year what they did was they had basically two heroes, or you know, multiple heroes, one for each position, but they had two versions of them. Now this year, excuse me, Madden 18, they had it to where a bunch of wild cards, you needed a bunch of wild card quarterbacks, halfbacks, wide receivers, etc., in order to get the 94 overall version of these cards, right? So you would need, you know, as you can see on the screen, 288 to 90 overall quarterbacks, 85 to 87 was about 5. Yeah, so 5 of those, and then multiple of more overall differentials. And then once you get the 94, you actually needed that 94 to complete the 98 overall card. So you would need his 94 overall plus any two 91 plus or higher. Then you would need another 5 88 to 90 overall quarterbacks, and then multiple 85 to 87s, etc., etc. And if I'm not mistaken, it took generally around the same as 26 for this one. It took 50, so never mind. So, but the 98 overall set was actually a lot harder to obtain, because once these wildcard sets were out, these prices for these cards shot through the roof. So I'm giving you this tip, which is something that I forgot to mention earlier in my last, Series 6 tips, was that a lot of these cards might go up. So what I would do personally, and this is a long shot because they can do it like they did in previous Maddens, where each positional set was actually like specific players that you would have to obtain. Like, for instance, you would need a Kareem Hunt card, of course, most likely his highest overall to obtain the 98 overall version, aka halfback 25. But for instance, you would probably need like Lamar Miller Gauntlet, or you would need something, I know that was random as hell, but you probably need like a Le'Veon Bell Team Diamond, or a LaShawn McCoy Blitz, or you would probably need like an Adrian Peterson card from Team of the Week, or multiple of those. Then they have like specific lower overalls, low elites, mid elites, higher tier 90s, lower tier 90s, etc., etc. And it would be specific players, which was even harder to obtain because those specific players cards would shoot through the roof. With a wild card set, at least there would be a specific market that would actually be increased, not just specific players. It still makes it easier to obtain these 98 overall cards. Fingers crossed they're actually 98, which I assume they will be. I think that each one of these cards, damn phone be blowing up, but I assume each one of these cards are actually going to be around the same overall, like 98 or something like that, and they'll all be power ups. So I don't really think that they'll do like limited times for these types of cards, but honestly, you never know. So I would honestly keep that in mind, that some of these might be limited time. There might be like, they'll have like these set quarterbacks through halfbacks through fullbacks, etc. And then they'll throw an extra wide receiver in there or something crazy like that. Because honestly, a lot of wide receivers had a really crazy year. A lot of tight ends last year had a really crazy year. So it's going to be difficult just to have one of them. And, we got cards like, 3 tight ends broke records last year. You got Zach Ertz. I was just literally having a conversation on Twitter about this. You got Zach Ertz, you got George Kittle, and you got Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce being the first to break the receiving yards for a tight end. And Kittle came right back and basically just, I'm not going to say washed it because they're similar in yards, but, they set those records. And then Ertz broke the most receptions by a tight end, etc., etc. So it'll be a little bit hard to leave all of them off the list. And particularly, these might be like, I think I just used that word wrong, but I think these are going to be like majority like the all-pro selection list. And then honestly, if you leave Julio off this list, you got to be smoking. I don't think he's had a card since, no, he just got like a 97 overall card, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, it's hard to keep up with all this stuff going on right now, but yeah, that's basically a general overview of this. If I were to go ahead and sum this up on a big tip on what you should do, I would literally just start fishing for like a lot of the cheaper cards and just see, it's a really low risk thing, because this is what you can make the most profit off of. It'll be a little more difficult to make profit off it. Well, actually, no, because 88 to 90s aren't really going for anything right now. So if you got a pretty decent amount of coins, say you're in the 250,000 range, I would start plucking like 88s to 89s or 88s to 90s, or the way that they have it now, I think it is 89 to 90 or 80. Is it? No. It's like 88 to 89, then 90 to 91 when you filter them. Ooh. So I would actually start looking through each filter, see what cards you can get for a really decent price, or if they're really still like extremely cheap, since the trading market is like plummeted in recent weeks with the Ultimate Legends being out and those getting so cheap. I would honestly just start plucking as many low elites, as many like flashback cards as possible, tight ends, I'm trying to name all these things like heavyweights, because you never know. You honestly never know if it's wild card or not. And then a lot of these cards might actually end up being, in the set. So you might as well go ahead and start. If you're in that lower bracket, say you're in like the 100K range, 50K range, go ahead and start looking at these 80 overalls, these 84 overalls, buy them for a really cheap price because you can get 80 overalls for about less than 1,000 coins. And if this actually holds up and these cards actually get, you know, part of this wild card, I say promotion, but wild card set, if they do hold that to be true, yeah, I just say shit just because it sounds good. But if it is a wild card set, the prices are going to skyrocket, honestly. But I have been wrong, but they should go up. And if you make an extra 1,000 coins off of each one, say you invested 75,000 coins, you're making, you know, half your coins back. But of course, you got to assume taxes are going to play their part. But, you know, stay just kind of climb a little bit higher. So once you make that investment for that, try to make another investment in something else. That way, just, you don't have all your eggs in one basket. You can kind of like, you know, just hop around. And speaking of eggs in one basket, make sure that you stay tuned because I'm pretty sure within the next few weeks that there will be an Easter promotion reveal. This damn phone. I'm pretty sure that there will be an Easter promotion reveal pretty soon within the next couple weeks with Easter being so close. And they might do something how they did last year. Video coming shortly and within the next week or so about what to look for in the Easter promotion as well. This will be the end for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Two-piece those mofos that'll help the channel grow tremendously. Also, let me know down below what you guys think could possibly happen as far as like which promotion is next. I personally think in my heart that it's going to be the positional heroes, whatever they choose to call them this year. And if you want to see me do a predictions video on which players could possibly get, you know, each position for the positional heroes, let me know down below as well. So yet again, stay tuned for more Madden 19 content. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and until next time, fellas, peace.